Well, we're back right here on Hala Kuwait, and with us right now is Mr. Hamza Taqi, Master Performance Consultant, a well-known consultant right here in the state of Kuwait. We'd like to welcome you to our program and happy Eid to you.
Thank you. Happy Eid to you and to your audience.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you with us. And you know, Mr. Hamza, Eid brings family together and even brings some of them from other countries just for the blessed holiday. In your opinion now, how important is family connections, especially during this very blessed time?
Oh, family connection is always important, all the time. But when it comes to Eid, it's more, when it's Eid, it's all the sibling, all the
the extended
sons,
family.
The extended family gather together. And that gives a different environment to the whole gathering. The chemistry, the energy there is really good. When you see like a grandfather sitting with a grandson or even grandson, they kind of communicate with each other in a way that the grandfather feels good when they are communicating and playing. It makes the whole family move, and it brings more curiosity to the whole gathering. It's very important, especially on Eid.
Of course, I think that's very important what you mentioned, to feel like this amazing energy of the whole family getting together. And this can affect you physically and mentally. So we'd like to know, how does that help?
Oh, a lot. I mean, family gathering, family connection, especially extended family. We see like a lot of studies have shown that, people who are living with their extended family, they live longer. So it's if you want longevity, stay with your family.
Have your family around.
Yeah, stay connected with your family, and of course, even for children, academically, they will become better in the school. They will have less even anxiety or stress. What we talked about last episode. So it changes the lifestyle of the family, of the member of the family, especially for children who are in a good family, a good, with love and
a good family environment.
Exactly. They will be better, and they will contribute better to the school, to their environment, to the whole community.
Yeah, they will excel in everything.
Yes.
On a personal level, on school. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's self-confidence,
yes.
Dr. Tariq. They get self-confidence, and that, of course, will make them better in all.
Sure.
It changes their mindset.
Of course, I think support and family support is very important. It really helps in encouraging you to become better, to achieve more, I think.
Absolutely, yeah.
But Mr. Hamza, sometimes in big family gatherings or group of family members, there can be one or sometimes more toxic, unfortunately, members of a family. So how can someone stay positive with a toxic family member, or even maintain the time spent with them? Or how can, even more importantly, how can you try to stop this toxic environment and make things smooth?
See, I believe that we have, from our side, we are contributing to this toxicity or this problematic relationship between family members. Because see, if I look at myself and I control my mood and becoming patient, even if the other person or family members have stated some sort of thing that made me feel frustrated or ill, I don't take it in. I just let it pass, because maybe they don't mean it, or they were under certain pressure. So it's always looking for these kind of, maybe he doesn't mean it, or maybe she doesn't mean it, and always control your mood, control your mindset, so you don't get engaged in this negativity and you become part of it. In the contrary, if you are controlling yourself and not looking at them and not focusing on the other party, they will come about in a much better way, because it's how we show up. If I show up with I have a member in the family who is always fighting, always making problems, And I show up with that mindset that, oh, what's going to happen if I come? Maybe they'll make a problem. Maybe they'll be shouting. How about my children? I don't want my children to see this. And all these thinking, obviously, it will trigger that kind of energy. But if you become calm and you know, I'm talking about not the other person. I cannot do anything about the other person, how they react, but I can control my reaction. I can control my you know, behavior. How do I behave? And from that, hopefully, you know, some people will come around. Some people will come around. Always have that, you know, positivity of, you know, people will come around. Especially, you know, people cannot continue, you know, hurting you if you are treating them good all the time. Because this is a family member. You cannot just, you know, ignore. You're going to see them, you know, every time. So better to build your credibility so you can maintain that relationship as much as you can. I know it's easier said than done. It's really difficult. But we need to really exercise and make them as like a challenge for us. How can I, you know, become, you know, disciplined and not to get angry for any act that they do? And I, you know,
have
practice
more self-control. Of
yes,
course, I think that's
self-control.
important.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's very important. And Mr. Hamza, we're going to take a short break right now and then be back with our distinguished guests. Stay tuned. Well, we're back right here in the studio, and if you're just tuning in, our guest is Mr. Hamza Taqi, a master performance consultant, a well-known consultant right here in the state of Kuwait. And Mr. Hamza, before we went to the break, we were talking about the family unit and Eid and so forth. So how can we teach the new generation to keep in touch with their family members? They seem to be busy with a lot of other things, their smartphones, watching movies, and maybe only want to come down and eat a little bit and then go back to their rooms or so. So how can we teach them to spend more quality time?
That's true. You know, youngsters, youth are not, they don't want to be part of the family gathering sometimes. And I believe that it's our fault as parents or as adults to create the right environment for them. You know, sometimes, you know, we are like teasing those youngsters during the family gathering for their haircut or when they're wearing, and we do it in a you know, a good intention, but we don't know the reaction of that person, especially if they're young. Maybe they take it seriously and they will shy away from coming again because they don't want to be stressed through this gathering. So the best way to do is, especially the youngest, you know, sometimes they want to sit by themselves, they want to talk to their peers. You know, it's good to, from time to time, to go to them and ask them questions about school and find a common denominator to talk about, you know, a sport or something that they like, you know, and ask them and let them talk. They will feel good. And they will like to come again because, you know, you're opening the conversation with them that they like so they can talk about, but not asking them about something that they lack of and they don't know. And that will create some sort of anxiety on them. And they say, oh, they're going to ask me about this and that. And especially ladies, sometimes they don't like to be asked. You know, certain questions, especially the why question, you know, why are you this, or why are you wearing this, or, you know, it's better to ask, you know, how do you feel today, what you've done, what are you going to do in Eid, to make them talk and make them feel that they are included in the conversation. Sometimes as adults, we ignore the children, we don't include them. It's like, you know, we keep them separate. Sometimes in the meal, when we're eating, you know, we keep them separate, we put them together and we stay together. It's good to put them between us and make them feel that they are included and they are a big part, an important part in this family gathering, and they can always say their voice and state their opinion, and encouraging them, even if the opinion sometimes is odd or different, or we are not used to because it's different in our tradition or in our So yes, let them talk, let them state their opinion, and let's embrace their opinion. They are the change. We should learn from them, actually.
Of course, I think that's very important what you mentioned.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think a lot of parents or even older family members,
Yes.
usually they teach the kids because they're having fun with them, but sometimes they might get the wrong message. So this is a very important point. So we really need to watch out for their feelings, how they react to these kind of teas.
Absolutely. And I used to be, a good in that thinking. I didn't do it. I would do it, purposely. I thought that this will make them stronger. But then I felt that there was distance between me and those kids. So I tried to change the strategy and to tell my friends and my other siblings not to do that, for example.
Yeah, Eid is a nice time where family get together,
Yes.
and we want people to have a good time.
Exactly.
Especially during
Exactly.
Eid
And
al-Adha. Yeah.
good time is always healthy. It's always healthy. When you're happy, you're healthy. You're thinking in the right way. But when you're sad, when you're upset, it is where the diseases come.
Yeah, it's good that you can enjoy the time, and we hope our audience are enjoying watching Hela Kuwait, KTV2, the family channel, during our Eid episode. Do you have any other words of advice or comments for the audience who are tuning in this evening, please, Mr. Hamza?
Well, I would like to say that, make a quality time with your family. Don't just, sit, as you said, on your mobile and forget. And it would be nice to have some rules when the family gathers.
Yeah.
Put a basket, put all the phones there.
That's a good thing.
And whoever uses the phone, they pay the bill, for example.
Or they don't get to eat.
Yes, or not to get to it. Playing these kind of game,
Yeah.
really, we are teaching our children the discipline and how to really connect with each other without, having engaged with the mobile. Because the mobile is a tool. It's a good tool for us to connect with each other. But it becomes worse when it uses us.
Right.
When it uses us and we are like separate going to that tool. So connect with your family members, even if you are having misunderstanding with any of them. Make this day, the Eid, to go and connect with them and hug them and love them. Yes.
Very well said, and we'd like to thank you so much for coming this evening
Thank you.
during the Eid holidays. We appreciate your time with us right here on Hela Kuwait.
Thank you for having me, my friend.
Thank you so much. We'd like to thank our distinguished guest, Mr. Hamza Taqi, Master Performance Consultant, for his time with us tonight. Right now we're going to go on to another one of our amazing reports. Stay tuned.